Hi guys, Graham here again from Baintech Technology, your leaders in power products. Today I just want to quickly touch on how to make your fridge / freezer more efficient and use less power, which enable you to keep off grid for a longer period of time. Obviously the number one tip is, and everyone knows this, is to try and keep your fridge freezer as cool as possible. And that means in the environment that it's in. So if it's in a drawer slide in the front of your camper trailer, or in the back of your caravan, in back of your canopy, or in your caravan, a lot of those spaces can get fairly tight and have the sun beating down on them all the time, so the ambient temperature heats up. Therefore, then the fridge externally heats up, and your thermostats are on and off a lot more often. Hence using more power when it's cycling. So for this reason, one of the rules is try and keep that device as cool as possible, as much as you can. The next thing would be to try and keep the inside as cool as possible. Now that may sound a bit weird because you're like, well hang on, we're using power to do that. But the thing is, it's exactly right, you're using power to do that. But if you can use the products inside, which is what it's designed for, to keep the temperature down inside, you don't need to then use the power, hence longer life on your battery. So by that I mean is a lot of people will think bigger is better. Mate, if there's only two people, unless you're going away for a month at a time, you do not need a 90-95 litre fridge, because I can guarantee you after the first week or two, and it's now down to a quarter of the size, you'll be using twice as much power, because it takes a lot more power to keep air cool than what it does to keep products cool. So by that I mean that the products inside, they reach a cool temperature and they're keeping the inside cold, same as what it would do in an esky. And if you can keep that temperature cold inside the fridge, you don't need the power to do that. So what I usually recommend people do is put a couple of frozen bottles of water in when you start. Like I've got, like a 2 litre bottle of an empty 2 litre bottle of cordial, for instance, right? Freeze that up, because at the end of the day, if you do need water or whatever, you over a period of time it starts to melt, and gradually, but it will take quite a while to do that. I've been away for up to a week and those bottles have still been frozen inside my fridge, sitting at 2 to 3 degrees. Not a problem at all. Because a lot of the time that ice in that side is solid inside the fridge, keeping everything around it cold, and therefore then the fridge is hardly cycling on and off. And that's the main tip, is keep as much food or as much products in those fridges at any one time. And they will keep it there. So if you've got a fridge this big and you go away for a 2 or 3 day trip and you're only putting a couple of products in there, you're going to lose all your power and kill your power to do that. So maybe sometimes it's better to have a smaller fridge or a couple of smaller fridge, because they will use less power than say one big fridge. If you've got a half fridge and half freezer, use it even more power again, because as we know, the freezers pretty much need to be on virtually all the time. And if you don't have a lot of products within that freezer, it's going to use a lot more power. So keeping some little bottles of frozen, or even freeze your bottles of water at home first and put them in your fridge or in your freezer, and you'll find that you won't be cycling anywhere near as much. I've added an extra 2 days to a 110 amp hour battery in some circumstances, just by having a couple of frozen bottles in there, and without putting power into the battery, just to see how long it would last. And and try and minimise the amount of times you open them, and don't stand there and look for 2 minutes while you're trying to move things around and see what you want, because obviously as soon as you let all that hot air back into it, it's got to cool all that down again. So hopefully that's helped you a little bit, just on keeping and maintaining your fridges and freezers running at their optimum efficiency. So don't block the airflow around the compressors and the air there. Keep that air as cool as possible. Sometimes it may you need an extraction fan to take the hot air and pull the hot air through out of the cavity or the space that it's in, and you'll last a lot longer off grid. So until next time, bye for now.